guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is literally what I get asked about so much. Today I'm going to be giving you my tips and like recommendations for like starting a beginner's kit, and this also does apply to people that want like good makeup and like a lot of makeup for themselves without getting everything. Obviously not all tips will like you won't need if it's just for your personal kit, but it's not to say if you want more products you can literally take some of these tips on board. So yeah, we're just gonna go through that. Like I said, I literally get so many questions asking like what I'd recommend to start a kit and things like that. So yeah, but before we begin, please can you like this video, subscribe, and leave down below if there's like any other videos like this you would want me to do. I am literally the perfect person example of someone that had nothing when they started, and now I do have a lot of makeup, but obviously this is 2 years worth of makeup that I now have. So I definitely started with these tips myself. So yeah, just leave a comment down below if there's anything else you want to see like this. But let's get into it. My first tip, you do not need everything. You actually don't. You do not need a massive kit to start makeup. I think that's what a lot of people might think, and it's quite daunting to think, oh, I've got to have all this makeup before I can actually start clients. Like, you really don't. As long as you've got the things that I'm gonna talk to you about and things like that, you can start clients. Another thing I would say is don't stress over it, because I used to stress thinking if I was doing clients like they might want a certain thing and that's why I've got to have it all. But clients are actually very understanding, and a lot of the time they look at your Instagram and just go by looks from that. Obviously that stuff you already have. So yeah, just don't stress, and hopefully also what I'm going to tell you will help. But yeah, you do not need a massive makeup kit to start. I definitely didn't start with all the makeup I've got now, and just as you go along I just added to it. And yeah, I mean, the obsession begins. So that is why I've now got so much makeup, because obviously I love buying it, I love trying out new stuff, but you do definitely not need it all. The most daunting thing I would say, even now, like I always do worry, is foundation, and whether you've got enough, if you've got the right shades for everyone, because of course you want to cater for everybody, and that is such a main thing. You need to make sure that you do have shades for a variety of different people, but that does not mean that you need to go out and get one foundation in every single shade. There's just no need. This is the first foundation I ever bought, and it's really weird because I fell in love with this obviously when I first started, and now I'm recently seeing a lot of people go on about it. So this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. As you can see, I went out and I literally just bought 3 of these. When you start off, mixing foundations is your best friend, is what you've got to do to be able to get all different shade range. So what I would suggest you doing is getting 3 or 4 foundations, 1 being the lightest, then 4 being the darkest, and then just get 2 like in between. Maybe switch up the undertones to get 1 with a yellowy undertone, 1 with a more beige undertone, and just mix them. So another one, the Maybelline Fit Me, as you can see I've got 350, which is probably the darkest one that I have, and then I've got 120. So even if you need a little bit lighter than 350, just add 120. Mixing is fine. I even mix now like for myself, just if I like 2 different foundations and I want to mix them together. That is how you are gonna be able to do all different clients. And both of these foundations, they're from, well, this is from Beauty Bay, but it's like £6 a bottle. Like, it's not expensive. And that's another thing, you do not need to go and get the most expensive foundation, because as you probably will see on my Instagram, on like my channel and stuff, sometimes the most expensive ones ain't the best. I love a drugstore foundation. All of these, my L'Oreal True Match, my Maybelline Dream Urban Cover, Fit Me, Wet n Wild, they are the nicest foundations. It's one good thing that the drugstore has like took off in recent years. It's just improved so much. Don't think as well that you have to go and spend a fortune on all these foundations. Like, yes, my NARS is my baby, but if you can't afford a £35 bottle one, that's not, I didn't buy NARS right at the beginning. I bought £6 foundations. It wasn't until I started to obviously earn a bit of money from my makeup, that I then treated myself and got some NARS, and then it's same thing. Because I knew I couldn't go out and buy the whole shade range of NARS Natural Radiant, I'd just get 3, couple of different colours, and I'd mix them still. And even if I had my NARS foundation and I needed a little bit lighter, it's not to say I'd never put a bit of Wet n Wild in there. Honestly, mixing foundations is your best friend when you start out, so don't be afraid of that. Just, you've got to be clever in how you buy it and how you pick your shades so that you can mix them. That is the biggest tip of all, because I used to hate it, especially on Instagram. People would book in, you don't know, sometimes you don't know people and stuff, so like I didn't know what I'd need for them and things like that. But yeah, don't stress. I mean, I literally did stress, so I get it, but just make sure that you mix your foundations. Same with concealers, you don't have to have every shade, just mix them. Like with base, mixing when you start off is so handy. But yeah, I would recommend all them drugstore foundations, which I said at the beginning. There is no way you need to go out and buy all of MAC, all of NARS. It's just, there's no need. Right, the next thing that is going to be your best friend when starting a makeup kit is like quads and doubles. Try to avoid as much as possible buying just singles. Obviously there is going to be some singles that you want and you have to get, but when you can, you need to look out for like your quads and your doubles, because obviously you're getting more for your money. So for like blushes, this Nip and Fab and this Revolution Pro blush quad, like I think these are literally under a tenner, but it's so good because you've got 4 different shades, you've got 4 different choices, if that makes sense. So you've got your dark blushes, or you've got like your really pale blushes. I love this palette, I still always use it. And obviously I've got my pinks and my peaches. With blush, that is what you need. Like I say, I love a peach blush, so this one is perfect for that, and as well obviously perfect for skin tones that suit a peach blush more. And then you've also got your pinks. Some people like pink blush. I mean, I like both. Definitely buying quads is so much better than buying singles. Like I say, there might be the odd singles, and as you grow your kit you will start to buy the odd single and things like that, but the way you're going to get more products and more variety is by going in with your quads first. Also another one, obviously this is more high end, but I did mention this the other day and I said that it was £40 for 4, so realistically it does really work out better. Again, you've got your really light ones, your really dark highlighters, so it just suits more skin tones, so it's actually worth more than just buying a £20 single highlight. And as well, what I find with this is like really handy if you are a makeup artist that travels or does that mobile. That way I can just take these and that's it, rather than packing all my singles. I could just literally take one blush quad and I've got 4 different choices, so it is really handy to still have them. I mean, I don't really do a lot of mobile, but if I do, I will just take like a couple of these and I've got so many different choices when I'm there. Again, drugstore, I've never actually properly looked, but I would say my kit is very balanced. Of course there are some things that are a bit more expensive that I like, but I have so many things that I actually prefer from the drugstore. So yeah, always check the drugstore first. I will definitely do more makeup tutorials and videos like with the drugstore. I love Superdrug and Boots and just Beauty Bay. Like Beauty Bay is another, obviously it's a little bit of an in-betweener, but it's definitely got more of your cheaper products on. I love it on there. Actually, that leads on to our next item. I'll mention this all the time, but this is literally my baby. I have such a sentimental value of this. This is my Morphe Second Nature palette. Every time someone asks me what's a really good palette for a beginner, this palette, I mean, you can see I have literally nearly like, loads of them I've hit pan on, like these two here, here. I lost the black, but this palette, this was the first one I bought, and I mean, I probably just used this for quite a while before I started actually getting other makeup products. It's got all your browns, like I said before, it's got a pop of red, pop of orange, it's got your shimmers. You don't need much else when you're first starting off, and Morphe palettes are so reasonable. They're literally like £23 and it's lasted me ages. They are so good. Morphe shadows are really good. Like I say, I still use them and don't find any problems with them. They blend easily, and yeah, not the most expensive palettes, but I love it. And then also, so from Beauty Bay, which again I would always recommend. So obviously that is like my brown palette, but this is also another very neutral palette. This is my Beauty Bay Origin palette. So again, it's got lots of your transitions, it's got some of your browns, you've got your pinks, all these shimmers. I would really recommend getting, to begin with, one nude palette, which you can do your soft glam looks, your very client looks. And then I have my EYN Bright palette, which if you're wanting to get a little bit colourful, creative for your Instagram and stuff, or if anyone does want a bright coloured look, you've got them. And again, I think these are around the same price as Morphe, but I love these palettes. Still, again, use them all the time, and these aren't the only ones they do. They literally do so many different ones. I think there's even one called Fiery, which is very similar shades to the one in the Morphe. So if you just picked up a couple of them, you'd be sorted for a very long time. And like, I would try and avoid, obviously in my kit I do have, like you saw me use my APH Norvina palette, which is very tiny. I've got my Huda nude palette. I love these palettes, but I can't lie to you, like obviously I have used it, but I would try and avoid, if you're trying to start off your kit, try and avoid getting these. There isn't really much need. I like to get these just as, like, I think they mean like something to me. I mean, I got this as like my first bougie pricey palette, and then this one, I actually got this in TK Maxx, so it didn't cost me as expensive. But yeah, I mean, especially for ones like this, because it's going to be very hard to create as many looks. Obviously you can create some looks from this, but not as much as when you have a massive palette. I literally, every time I use this, although they're different browns, I create new looks, because they just, yeah, on different people, on different skin types, it just creates different looks all the time. So yeah, again, cheaper and more for your money all the time. These, like I say, if you are treating yourself, or it's for like a birthday or something, or you just want a nicer palette, then of course I'm not saying these are bad, but when it comes to clients and trying to get more makeup for your money, I wouldn't say they're the best to go for. My next big tip is multi-use products. So one thing which, like I said, with like the concealers and stuff, getting a darker concealer and then a lighter concealer, I always use, most of the time, concealers, foundation sticks for cream contours. So even sometimes I could use this as foundation on a darker skin tone, but I could also use it as contour. Same with my concealers, but you're killing two birds in one stone, I think that's the saying. So it's just like little things like that that you'll actually find that you use more out of your products. Same with, like I said about the other day, with the P. Louise base. Obviously these, I wouldn't say when you're first starting off unnecessary. You don't need them. I mean, I love them, but of course these are for your more colourful looks. But one way of justifying it is that I use this as a cream blush as well. So if you want to treat yourself, not treat yourself because they're not that expensive, but again, if you want to splash out a little bit and get one of these P. Louise bases, the pink, obviously you can use it for your cheeks. I've got it on today underneath my makeup as a cream blush, but yeah, you can also use it on your eyes. So just like little things like that, it makes you feel like you've got more. The same as, like I said, the P. Louise bases, obviously you can use concealer instead of the P. Louise base. I love P. Louise base. I do think it's very, very worth it, but they are multi-use as well. You can use them as concealer, your darker shades you can use as contour, and they're unreal. So again, just by getting products like that, it's actually making it more worthwhile for you, and it gives you more chance to be a bit more creative and try different things, rather than spending so much money on like one way of doing your makeup and then but you're always stuck with that. If you've got universal products, you can change them about and you'll be actually creating more look. Like I said, I'm always testing out new stuff. So yeah, that is definitely a tip. So, like all your creams, just obviously to a certain extent, but you can use them all the time. Brushes, again, try and avoid buying single brushes. Brush sets are the way forward. Morphe do Unreal brush sets, and I find if you've got one of them, you're sorted for most of the brushes that you need. Beauty Bay, I've got 2 sets from Beauty Bay. They're amazing as well. Peaches and Cream, although they do brush sets, so obviously try to get one of them because it will sort you for a lot of them. And one thing that saved me actually with my brushes, which I used to struggle with, and I know I bang on about it, but it is the ISO Clean, because I find that I can now use the brush over and over again if you've got like a busy day of clients, instead of washing all your brushes, because I used to be like running out of brushes where I couldn't clean them in between, if that makes sense. But with the ISO Clean, obviously I can spot clean in between, so the brushes I'm never really running out, because as soon as I need it again, I just give it a little clean before my client, and then you're good to go. With brushes like that, this stuff will save your life. I've said this so many times, but I hated cleaning my brushes before. It used to be such a nightmare, and I used to always, like I say, run out of brushes and be like, oh, I've not got enough. But you do. You just need this in your life. But yeah, Peaches and Cream, they do 4 for £15. Such a good deal. I can't rave about their brushes enough. I literally go on about them all the time. But yeah, I love them. And that obviously, if you need a top up instead of buying singles, go to Peaches and Cream and get 4 for 15, because I'm telling you now, it is so good. Pigments, so again, with your eyeshadow palettes, they always come with shimmers, most of them, unless you're buying an all matte palette, they will come with shimmers, and these shimmers are perfectly fine. When I started out, I just basically used the shimmers, just wetted my brush to get the most payoff. But Peaches and Cream pigments, again, they have such good deals on them. I think it's like, it depends what ones you click, but I think it's like 3 for 18 or 6 for 25, something like that. But yeah, if you just get 3 pigments, and obviously don't, this sounds like common sense, but don't be silly and go get 3 pigments that have like a bright green, a bright blue and a bright pink, because realistically your clients ain't gonna really ask for that. You get things like Gatsby, Nude. Get Pink, like Crush is a beautiful pink, but it's like a pale pink. So obviously pink is sort of an all client look, and when you can go a bit creative. But yeah, Crush is beautiful for clients. Yeah, just obviously don't be silly with it. I've only started getting products that are more creative once I'm got my basis for them. I love my Be Perfect palettes. And if you do want to treat yourself to a colour palette, go for it. But that definitely wasn't what I bought first off. I had all of these way before that, because not that they're really expensive, but they are more on the expensive side, and you don't need that straight away. But now I love them. They are the best. But yeah, just be clever with it. So Disco, that's a silver. Gatsby and Disco, you've got your silver and gold, so you can go either way. With your eye colours, you can use these as highlighters. People use it like that. So again, if you want more of an intense highlighter, Gatsby on your cheekbones. It's blinding, but like I say, it's a multi-use product. I use these, like as you can see today, I've put mermaids in my inner corner, just to, like, it's such a natural look. But if you have one pop of colour in your pigments, stick it on the inner corner and you've got a bit more of a creative look. Just like little things like that really make a difference. And then once you start earning a bit, I was lucky in a sense, obviously I had my other job as well, so all my wages just sort of went on makeup. But yeah, especially if you literally just do makeup, there's so many ways and little tricks to get more for your money. Definitely don't stress about it. Don't think that you need everything. And it's hard because you do get obsessed with buying makeup. I was seeing everyone getting all this makeup and I wanted to try it, but you definitely do not need it all. I could probably have a clear out of my makeup, and yeah, half the stuff might not need. But it's hard when you put on obsessed makeup, you do. Also, quickly, for like lips and like lip liners, Peaches is literally such a good brand for starting out your kit. They do lip liners in like a set. I think it's 4 lip liners, 4 or 5 lip liners for £20. £5, but it's every single nude that you're gonna need, starting from, this is like one of the really dark ones, they have the really light ones. So again, for starting off, buy that and that will cover you. Lip glosses, they do packs, they do bundles as well. So if you wanna, you can get some pigments, some lip liners, you can do all different little pick a mix bundles. I would definitely check them out when starting off, because yeah, it seems like they're very like geared towards that sort of stuff. But yeah, you just need to shop around and just be a bit more cautious when you are starting off. Obviously now, because I've got the base of my kit, I basically buy stuff just if I like the look of it or I want to try it and things like that. But yeah, definitely it's changed since I was like starting off. Like when I was starting off, it wasn't so much just what I wanted, it was working out, do I need it? Is it worth the money? What can I get out of using this? Like, is it, I don't want to just buy it just for that one thing, because yeah, you want to make sure that you've got enough stuff to cover a whole load of people. But people are understanding, and yeah, most of the time they just bring out my Instagram and say, can I have something like that, and let me just have reign on what I want to do. So obviously if you've done it on your Instagram, then pretty much you have that product. But it's just like little things like that that I would say that you definitely need to be looking out for. Multi-use products, mixing products that you just basically get more for your money. It is hard to start off a kit, especially like I said, I started off with hardly, I don't even think I had a makeup bag when it started. Like I was that bad, and now my makeup drawers I ain't even got enough space. So trust me, I've definitely done my shopping around. It's just trial and error, and yeah, there is going to be things that you think, why did I buy that? Like, that's not worth it. But it's trial and error, and Superdrug and Boots will be your best friends. And don't, that's another thing, don't, I used to worry if like I had clients and I was just putting, obviously when I started off I wasn't charging a fortune. I mean, I still don't charge a fortune now, but I used to worry to think that I'm doing a full face of drugstore, like, and worried that they'd thought like, what am I paying for if she's just got drugstore makeup, or she's got cheap makeup. But even now, I have, like I said, I've got my expense, but I'll use drugstore. Drugstore is really good. Don't worry about what you put on face. They're paying, mostly they should be paying for your skill, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not so much about the products and how much they cost. They do the job and you like them. It is your skill and how you do them. But yeah, I hope that helped. You can use this as well for your personal kit. If you're someone that doesn't do makeup for a living but just loves makeup, obviously look out for them products. Maybe not for like the foundation, but the multi-use products, the palettes, like I love these palettes. Even when people say like, oh, I need a palette, what's good for a lot of people, like a lot of looks or whatever, what's good for beginners. It might not be beginners because they're starting to do makeup, but these palettes are still good if you are just getting into makeup for yourself. And yeah, let me know if there is any other videos like this you want to see. I am gonna try and think of some more, because obviously I know people want to see me apply my makeup, but if you are looking to become a makeup artist, these are the things that you need to know as well. Hope you enjoyed. And yeah, so please like this video before you leave, subscribe and leave a comment down below any other videos you want me to do. And yeah, I will see you in my next one. Bye guys. Mwah.